Krishna says, Yastu indriyani manasa niyamyarabate Arjuna. A yogi, karma yogi, or dhyana yogi, or jnana yogi, or bhakti yogi, he has to begin like this, controlling all the senses, restraining the senses. And how one has to restrain the senses? Krishna says, manasa. Even within the mind, we should not entertain a desire to enjoy the senses. So, it is not external show of sense control. Even in our mind, that desire has to be given up to enjoy the senses. And karma indriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate. So, karma yogi is a person first controls all the senses, and what he does, asaktaha, being detached from the results of the actions, he performs what is scheduled to be his duty. Asaktaha, being renounced, being detached from the results, is another important characteristic of a karma yogi. Karma yogi will never carry out activities desiring the result, seeing the result. Oh, this business will give me good profit, let me go and do that. That's not the uh, mood of a karma yogi. Oh, this job will give me nice salary, whether it is slaughterhouse, whether it is a distillery, doesn't matter. It pays me good salary, I'll go there. No, karma yogi never sees the result. He is never attached to the result. He sees what is the duty he has to perform. And what is that duty? Duty does not mean simply going in the office and working like a donkey from morning to evening. That way, if you see, donkey is the greatest karma yogi. He is lifting so much load, much bigger than his own weight, and every day the washerman is taking the donkey and putting so much clothes and taking back and forth. And at the end of the day, what does the donkey get? Does it get to wear all those nice clothes that he is taking, what the washerman is bringing? The donkey doesn't get to any of those things. He gets just some little grass. So donkey is so this one no detached, no. All that cloth he's carrying, he's never expecting that the clothes will be given to him, and he's expecting only some grass. So that kind of being a beast of burden is not a karma yogi. That is not called carrying out one's duties. Carrying out one's duty means, according to the Vedas, according to the Varnashrama system, if you are a grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, brahmachari, or you are an intellectual, or you are a administrator, or you are a mercantile person, you are a businessman, or you are a service person, whatever one of these four varnas and ashramas you belong to, according to that, there are certain rules and regulations and duties listed out in the Vedas. You have to follow those things. That is called following the duties, carrying out one's duty. Not being a beast of burden to earn one's livelihood. That is not called being a karma yogi. So karma yogi means one has to carry out the duties which are enjoined in the scriptures, including performing various yajnas as per one's position in the Varnashrama system. The Varnashrama system is so designed that yajnas are unavoidable for everyone. One is a brahmachari, there are certain yajnas which he has to do. Grihastha, Panchasuna yajna, 5 kinds of yajnas he has to do. The Vanaprastha also has to engage. He also cannot give up yajna. Even a sannyasi cannot give up yajnas. Even he has certain yajnas to perform. So, following these yajnas prescribed in the Vedas and following the duties which according to the Varnashrama system is called Karma Yoga without attachment to the result. Whatever the result is, I have to do my duty. The result may be something which is unfavorable for me. I may even lose my life because of doing my duty, but still I will not consider the result. What is important for me is my duty. And that is why you will see in the Vedic times, when you look at great personalities like Dronacharya, Bhishma Dev, etc., and the various personalities, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, all these kind of personalities, they are all, you will see, this is a common trait in all of them. Even in the Ramayana, you see, you look at Lord Ramachandra, Bharata, Shatrughna, Lakshmana, all these kind of personalities, all of them, the common trait is they all are very, very duty bound. They don't look at the result. Look at Ramachandra. He looked at what is his duty. As a son, my duty is to follow the instructions of my father. So what was the result? Result was that he has to go to Vanavasa. So many, more than a decade he has to be in the forest, in exile. He cannot even go to another kingdom and start his own kingdom. He has to be in the forest only, wandering like a nomad. But the result was not favorable, but still Ramachandra chose to trod the path of duty. Similarly, look at the Pandavas, look at all the great personalities like Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all of them. The common thing that you can see in the Vedic culture is duty is the topmost thing. They will not give up their duty even if they have to give up their life. This was very strongly embedded in the Indian culture, the Vedic culture. Of course, those things are now not there, and Varnashrama system is also has completely degraded and it is completely lost now. So what the vestiges of Varnashrama system that we are seeing now is the by birth caste system. That is not the real Varnashrama system. So that's the remnants of the old Vedic civilization that is no more there. So the real Varnashrama system is not able to, it's not possible to bring it back and again establish it. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, to follow the path of Karma Yoga is impossible, because there is no Varnashrama system available for you to practice. There is nobody to tell you what are your duties. No person can really figure out which Varna and Ashrama he belongs to. Everything is totally mixed up. One guy will be a bachelor and he'll be having so many girlfriends. How can he be called a brahmachari? But that is the way it is. Another guy will be a grihastha and he and his wife are separated. So he's a grihastha, but he's like a vanaprastha or a sannyasi, you cannot make out. Brahmachari is not a brahmachari anymore. So all the varnas, ashramas, everything is mixed up. It is all topsy-turvy. You cannot figure out what is your varna, what is your ashrama. Forget about following your duty. It is not possible. Then what to do? And okay, let us perform the various kinds of yajnas. You cannot do that also, because there are no qualified brahmanas here. There are no brahmanas at all. So-called caste-born brahmanas are there. But real brahmanas, where are they? No, they are not there. So you cannot perform yajnas also. So what can you do in Kali Yuga? Are we all totally condemned in Kali Yuga that we have to go to hell and there is no path for spiritual emancipation? No, in Kali Yuga, the entire system has been completely simplified. What a result we can get by following Karma Yoga after practicing it with so much difficulty and with so much determination for a long period of time. What effect you can get by renouncing everything, going to the forest and engaging in various kinds of severe forms of Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga for several years together. What you can achieve by studying all the Vedas and becoming a Jnana Yogi and intensely studying the Vedas, Vedanta Sutras and all that which cannot be performed in Kali Yuga, the result of all those activities can be achieved in Kali Yuga simply by performing one yajna. What is that yajna? Harer nama iva kevalam kalau nasteva gatiranyatha. So in Kali Yuga, simply Harinama, simply Sankirtana yajna will give us the result of all the other activities combined together. This is the special characteristic of Kali Yuga, because Krishna is all merciful. Krishna, the purpose of creating this material world for Krishna is to reclaim the conditioned souls and take them back to Godhead. That is why the whole Varnashrama system has been given, so that we can follow the Varnashrama system, please Vishnu, and then go back to Godhead. No more birth, death, disease, old age. But in Kali Yuga, when the whole Varnashrama system has collapsed, then what is the way to liberate the conditioned souls? So Krishna says, forget all those things, I'll give you a different process. Directly engage in devotional service to me. Bhakti Yoga. And that is why in the Upanishad it is said, Harer Nama iva kevalam. Kalau nastyeva gatiranyatha. 3 times it is said, nastyeva. Why? Why 3 times? Why not 4 times? Why not 2 times? Because when it is saying nastyeva, it means not by yajna. Second time nastyeva, not by dana. Third time nastyeva means not by tapasya. None of these three processes will work. You have to engage only in Harinama. Another meaning of this is Nastyeva means not by Karma Yoga. Nastyeva means not by Ashtanga Dhyana Yoga. Nastyeva means not by Jnana Yoga. The only way in Kali Yuga is Bhakti Yoga, chanting Krishna's holy name, engaging in Sankirtan, and simply by this extremely simple process, one can perfect one's life and go back to Godhead, never to come back again into this miserable world of repeated birth and death.